All Hallows Eve, that time of year, all creatures from beneath are unleashed to the world. It's time to return to where we all started. Another year, but the scares continue. Another month, but the fear proceeds to rise. This is the Venom Month of Horrors 2, The Quest for Shet.
Hello and welcome to the second annual Venom Month of Horrors. Another year and it doesn't get any less scary. And today we're looking at things. Okay, sorry, but The Thing is an absolutely terrible title for a movie.
Oh, come on.
The Thing takes place in Antarctica in 1982. A helicopter goes kablooey and some Norwegian guy is misunderstood and gets kashoti, and the American crew, one of which played by Kurt Russell, investigates the Norwegian research station to find a bunch of frozen bodies and charred ruins. Throughout the course of the movie, the dog starts to act strange before there's an outbreak of things. Alien! They're called aliens! Things is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Just call them aliens!
Yeah, okay.
And you know the drill. Aliens take over the bodies and kill them one by one. Blah, blah. It's basically Alien. Because they're aliens. I know you couldn't call the movie Alien, but come up with something more creative than The Thing.
It's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
Originally, the movie was going to be an adaptation of the 1938 novel Who Goes There by John W. Campbell. It had already been loosely adapted in 1951 for a movie titled The Thing from Another World. At least that title makes sense, but still, they're motherfucking aliens!
Damn it.
But the studio wants to develop a version more closely to the source material. In 1976, RKO Pictures had gained the rights, but the financiers didn't know what to do with it, leading to Universal purchasing the rights to go ahead with the film. John Carpenter was the first approach to direct, but he was more of an independent film director. So instead they hired Tobe Hooper, who directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was amazing and so scary.
Damn straight.
Hooper came up with a concept with his writing partner, but the producers just weren't happy with it, trying out many different writers, but all pitches fell flat. They tried to bring in other directors like John Landis, but nothing was working. In 1979, Ridley Scott's sci-fi film Alien sent the genre into orbit, leading to John Carpenter finally signing on to the project after the success of his slasher Halloween. Carpenter was so reluctant to join the production as he was adamant that they could never top the original. However, after finally reading the novel, he gained inspiration and work soon began. The original budget was $10 million, with a mere $200,000 for the creature's special effects, which was actually the most expensive monster film in history at that point, and filming was set to last 98 days. However, they soon estimated it would cost at least $17 million, and that was even before marketing and other funding, and they'd need at least $750,000 for the special effects. Filming began on August the 24th, 1981 in Alaska, and ended up costing $12.4 million. Many writers were hired on the project and discarded by the time John Carpenter was brought on, and he claimed the screenplays presented were absolutely awful. He did, however, not want to write one himself. Hey, this sucks. Write it yourself then. No!
He knows what he's doing.
Apparently, Tobe Hooper's version was just focused on one character who was just fighting a boring, untransforming alien thing. Tobe Hooper making a boring, uninteresting horror movie? Pfft, never.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
More rewrites followed, focusing on the source material more accurately, reducing the dialogue to build more suspense instead, and even lessening the amount of characters from originally 37 to 12. So they went from To Boldly Flee to 12 Angry Men.
Right.
In fact, the original film had a love story in the mix, but this one erased it completely. In fact, there is not a single female role in the entire movie. Downright sexist if you ask me. Outrageous. Alright, cut the bullshit! Christopher Walken, Nick Nolte, Clint Eastwood, Harrison Ford and Jeff Bridges were all considered for the lead, but Kurt Russell was selected, and he even helped Carpenter construct the story. Many big names were considered for other roles in the film, including Donald Pleasance, Lee Van Cleef, Alec Baldwin, and even my man William Daniels.
Fine!
The monster was originally going to only have one image, but during the rewrites they decided to have many different versions appear. In fact, the studio actually held a contest for fans to draw what they thought the monster was going to look like, and the winner earned a trip to Universal Studios. A short 20-minute version was screened, and amazingly 70% of horror fans lost their interest in the genre after watching this in just 6 months. Carpenter lost all faith in this production succeeding. The director even asked one audience member why they were unsatisfied, and he replied, "Well, what happened in the very end? Which one was the thing?" Carpenter claimed it was up to their imagination, and the audience member replied, "Oh God, I hate that. Damn it, using my mind. Who'd you take me for?"
Great.
When they screened E.T., the trailer for The Thing was shown and the entire audience sat in silence. Carpenter was positive that they were screwed. Despite this, The Thing was released on June the 25th, 1982 and got mediocre success, earning $19.6 million on a budget of $15 million. To this day, no one really knows why it didn't do as well. Carpenter believes the film was too depressing during the United States recession, others claim it was competing against E.T., others blame its R rating. It was such a disappointment, John Carpenter's career was severely damaged because of it. He was going to direct Firestarter in 1984 but was actually fired due to this film's failure. His contract at Universal was bought out, and the director himself lost confidence, refusing to talk about The Thing's failure for years. He was criticised as being a pornographer of violence, which he never intended, although he has stated that this is his personal favourite of any of his own movies. On its release, critics actually gave it a negative reception. It's the quintessential moron movie of the 80s. Instant junk, just a wretched excess. It's a cold and sterile horror movie that just attempts to cash in on the genre audience against the optimism of E.T., the reassuring return of Star Trek II, the technical perfection of Tron, and the sheer integrity of Blade Runner. The Thing was boring, bereft, despairing, and nihilistic, lacking in feeling, meaning the characters did not matter. The film confuses the use of effects with creating suspense, and it lacks the drama by sacrificing everything at the altar of gore.
The dialogue is banal and interchangeable, making all of the characters seem and sound exactly alike.
It was a witty touch to open with The Thing having already overcome the Norwegian base, defeating the type of trap seen in the 1951 version. The Thing's threat is only shown externally, without focusing on what it is like for someone who thinks they have been taken over. The film is scary but offers nothing original beyond the special effects. The entire film lacks characterization, offering basic stereotypes that exist just to be killed. But let's take a second to chuckle over the fact that one character is called Mac and another character is called Windows. There's no connection because this predates computers, but it's still quite amusing.
Bullshit, boy.
It was entertaining only if the viewer needed to see spider-legged heads and dog autopsies. Russell is the stalwart hero, while the other characters were not as strongly or wittily characterized. Russell's heroic status was undercut by the suicidal attitude adopted towards the film's finale. Many called it tiresome, too long, nonsensical, and characters wander off alone or don't team up against the alien, and the story alone just dull except for special effects. Others hated the special effects, calling it overkill and just disgusting, and it was even nominated for a Razzie for Worst Musical Score. Over the years, the film was completely re-evaluated and considered a huge milestone in the genre of horror. The Thing is a black, memorable film which may yet to be seen as a classic. It's one of, if not the best film directed by John Carpenter. It's Carpenter's most accomplished and underrated directorial effort. It's the best science fiction horror film of 1982, which was an incredibly competitive year, and perhaps even the best genre motion picture of the decade. It is one of the greatest and most elegantly constructed B-movies ever made. It's a peerless masterpiece of relentless suspense, retina-wrecking visual excess and outright nihilistic terror. It's the 9th best film of the decade, and probably the greatest genre remake of all time. In fact, Carpenter was more heartbroken over the fact that the director of the original, Christian Nyby, completely disowned his version. Thrillist ranked it as the 12th greatest sci-fi film ever, which Games Radar put it as 17th, Esquire as 32nd, Rotten Tomatoes as 76th, Entertainment Weekly selected it as the 12th scariest film in history, and Bravo put it as the 48th scariest movie moment ever for this scene. In 1999, Carpenter claimed that he had no plans for a sequel, but he would be open to the idea. Video games and comic books followed, and in 2005, a 4-hour miniseries was produced, taking place 23 years later, but it never got finished. Universal did, however, want to go ahead with the feature film sequel instead. A prequel, weirdly with the same title, was released in October of 2011, and it got mixed thoughts. And in 2003, two die-hard fans of the film visited the shooting location in British Columbia, and amazingly, 21 years after filming, they actually found the remains of the helicopter that crashes in the movie, and they even kept the rotor blade from it in their collection of memorabilia. Nerd! The Thing is alright. It's okay. God-awful piece of garbage that deserves a Razzie? Nah. Absolute masterpiece that set the standards and belongs in the 1001 for sure? Nah. I mean, look, they try to shoot a dog 4 minutes in. No. Bad movie. Bad. And also, isn't it always winter in Antarctica? But damn these 80s, playing chess on a computer. Damn you 80s, everything on a computer screen just handed to you. Glad those days are over. I also adore this guy's reaction. What did he just say? Eat?
Det orkar mich inte. Det är en slags ting. Det imiterar mig inte. Det orkar verkligen. Kom tillbaka, idioter!
I do think a whole lot of the film drags, but sequences like this are pure filmmaking genius and really show Carpenter's ability to build suspense visually. This guy's listening to the radio, he gets asked to turn it down, we then cut away so the music is more in the distance. The dog is lurking around with not really a score, but more like ambient sounds. The dog then enters a room, we see a guy's shadow who dramatically turns to the animal, and then we fade to black. That is absolutely perfection, and Carpenter is a genius for that.
My God, what the hell happened here?
You just found a guy with his throat completely mutilated and you're like, oh no, what have we here? What is wrong with you?
What is that? Is that a man in there or something?
Why does nobody react to a dead body like a normal person? Oh shucks, there's another one. Let me get my shovel.
Go ahead. Go ahead, what are you waiting for?
I swear to God, if all of these dogs start dying. No! Why is it always the dogs? Kill Carpenter, he's a douche. My biggest issue with the film, other than it growing boring a lot of the time, is just the characters. I do agree that the characters are all interchangeable and they are all forgettable. None of them really give us anything, and Kurt Russell is so bland and so boring. Throughout the entire movie, he maintains the exact same facial expression. He pulls the fire alarm to warn the others. Emotionless. He rushes to the alien. Emotionless. He confronts it. Emotionless. Hey dude, I just thought I'd let you know that I just saw your wife being raped.
Oh no, she was the love of my life.
It was very scary. I was very torn up about it.
I can no longer live without her. You have to help me.
Honestly, I think you should go and do something.
I have no idea what to do. I'm completely lost and abandoned.
I mean, he does deliver a nice speech here.
He'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
But it's the dialogue that's great. He still delivers it in a boring way. And he does it again here. Epic speech delivered with no facial expression or emotion. I mean, I guess he's okay here.
There's nothing else I can do. Just wait. R.J. McCready, helicopter pilot, U.S. Outpost North 31.
But that's the thing. Okay. But even when he's supposed to be a badass, he just sounds like a stropping 13-year-old child. edgy, don't mess with him. And I know it's a remake, but this is just so similar to Alien, it's unreal. I know the book came first, so I guess Alien technically ripped off The Thing, but it's a group of people trapped in an enclosed area being picked off one by one.
Well, McCready, I've been thinking. If a small particle of this thing is enough to take over an entire organism, then everyone should prepare their own meals, and I suggest we only eat out of cans.
Yet they all use the same knife to shed blood to test it. Yeah, that's safe. But anyway, this is apparently closer to the source material, so maybe Alien ripped off the novel, but Alien did it better. Alien wasn't really boring, and this was. Alien had at least one interesting character, and this doesn't. The only thing that separates this for the better is the effects. I must admit, they're insane. The dogs mutating look amazing. It's really well done, practical, and looks horrifying. And flamethrowing the alien just looks badass.
Clear! Clear.
Jesus! Okay, that was amazing. And way better than the chess scene in Alien. But how was everything recorded? I mean, was this CCTV footage? Because they seem to be the most perfect and dependable camera angles in history, capturing every single relevant story-driven plot point on film. But how do they keep a straight face? This dude looks hilarious with the cowboy hat on. This dude, for some reason, decides to drag Kurt Russell away from the alien things to tell him that the bodies killed by them are still alive. But you just took him away from the others. Surely you'd want to warn them too? You just left them alone with the other humans, knowing damn well they're still alive, you moron! Oh, what a surprise, he gets attacked and mutates. But I'm confused as to the rules of the alien lore in this film. This guy starts flipping out randomly for no reason. Maybe he saw Carpenter's Ghost of Mars.
Oh, I think so.
And it's revealed that he's infected, but others who were don't show these symptoms. And he even goes off to have a drink like nothing happened afterwards. I just don't understand the rules here. They constantly change.
You guys gonna listen to Gary? You're gonna let him give the orders? I mean, he could be one of those things!
Well, he couldn't. I mean, everyone else has mutated instantly. There's been no indication that these things can pretend to be human. Well, except that one douche who flipped out. But even that was inconsistent, so I have no clue. I'm completely lost. I mean, right here, the alien waits until they're exposed before revealing itself. Why? It could have easily killed them all by surprise by now. The waiting is so illogical, but the mutations look amazing, so who cares? But this is such a weird cut. The black guy asks to be released, and then it cuts to the same shot, just without him in it. A really simple thing like that, and John Carpenter managed to mess it up. It's just odd. But these effects of the monster breaking through the ground are incredible. But unfortunately, they look hilariously bad here just a few seconds later. So close.
This is pure nonsense.
And the ending, I mean, I like that it's left open to interpretation, but why are they worried about one of them being an alien? Surely if they were an alien, they'd just kill the other one. I mean, the music builds it up really well and everything, but again, it makes no sense. The film is alright. If not for the amazing special effects, it'd be pretty bad, but they save it. There's good stuff in there, but it's just a tedious watching experience at times with boring, bland characters and nothing really memorable. Die! Accept that! So awesome. Don't worry guys, if you think I'm shitting on this, wait till tomorrow. You're gonna slaughter me.